I believe identity is someone who you are as a person, as a community member, as a human being. Umbrella concept is the humanitarian way of looking support that we provide, that Aotearoa New Zealand provides, unlike other countries.
New name, same scars, fresh start. Some nights heavy, some nights bright. We carry whole homes in our minds. Talk it out, let it breathe. Every voice has something to teach. Between two worlds.
Kia ora whānau, welcome to another podcast from this series of podcasts we are having between two worlds. I'm excited to have a guest here in the studio, which we will together and find out who he is and what he do, and also have a corridor about some interesting topics we have today. How I pronounce your name? Deveon.
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 Yes. Correct.
Right, Deveon, Deveon, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes,
Deveon, how are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, good.
Great.
And thanks for having me today.
Your day been well?
Podcast. Yeah, so far, yeah.
Awesome.
Doing well, enjoying life.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to have this conversation with you, Corridor. I want to start, this is how I do it with all the guests.
Yeah.
If I give you the mic, how you would love to introduce yourself?
First, kia ora everyone. Thank you for inviting me and this golden opportunity to present myself and this podcast. So originally from Bhutan, came to New Zealand in 2008 on a refugee quota. So since then I've been living in Palmy here. So as a person, as a hobby, I love sports, music.
Right.
That's
Sports.
a snapshot of me who I am.
So you love sports, is that rugby or?
Oh well, I mean, I started with cricket. I started with cricket,
okay.
but it's a long time. I mean, I haven't had hands-on with cricket, but just as a hobby.
Nice,
As a
awesome,
hobby.
very welcome, thank you. And so we are doing this topics about to do a little bit mental health awareness, especially from people by refugee migrant backgrounds who settled here in New Zealand. Because we know we have different perspective, different experiences around this. But before I go deep dive into these questions, how was your journey since your settlement and here? How it's going for you in Palmerston?
Yes, so as I said, I came in 2008 on a refugee quota. So it was the journey as such, a refugee journey as such for everyone is quite challenging in various ways. In my case, spent 17 years in a refugee camp in Nepal after leaving Bhutan when I was 8 years old. So, and that has always been lacking. The life was full of lacks and, the hardships. So coming to New Zealand has given me an opportunity to sort of see things differently. And also with lots of the advantages that come along with me, and then take it from there. So journey has been has benefited me personally and also professionally, to be honest.
Right, awesome, welcome. Doing great. This journey been 17 years, right?
Yes, 17 plus years
17
been in New
plus,
Zealand. Yeah.
Great. So that what today's topic, I want to have a conversation with you about. One of them is two themes. We can start with the identity and belonging. So after all these years now for you being here, so if someone asks you what is identity for you, what is belonging, how do you answer such a question?
Yeah, great question. Different people, they have their own perspective and also the point of view of looking at identity. To me, I believe identity is someone who you are as a person, as a community member, as a human being. So that carries a lot behind you, as a person. As I said, if you look at through tangata whenua, sort of, Te Ao Maori perspective, that is about looking at the whakapapa, your ancestor, genealogy, who you are. So to me, as my cultural background as well, we see my identity as in a similar way. So
Right.
and also, but also carrying the personal values along the way.
Right.
Yeah. So
So do you
that's
see a lot of similarity between your culture and Tanada Whenua culture?
yes, yes. There's lots of similarity.
Mm.
Yeah, and
And
yeah, we worship sort of three aspects of life: water, um, um, water,
physical, spiritual.
water, air, and
Uh,
and also the heat, fire.
right.
So yeah, so we have that three cornerstone of life. So yes, so lots of similarity.
Right.
So that's also carrying the personal values and who you are as a person.
Beautiful. And how that you think, because having such a similar culture, have helped you to belong to the country?
Yes, that it definitely has helped me personally to be welcomed and feel um, belonged to this country. So it definitely does help. Yeah, as I just explained to you before about the
Yeah,
identity and cultural belongings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. That's cool. So, even in your experience while you're professional, I think you deal with many resettlement communities and different cultures. So, how do you see that belonging? It's happening in New Zealand. Do you feel people do they belong because there's a similar culture, or do they have a bigger community? Have you any understanding about this belonging? How it work here?
Okay, so I see from that side, it could be through the humanitarian aspect of it, especially my work that relates to mostly working with former refugees. So yeah, there's an element of also cultural side of it, and but also mostly around this is its umbrella concept is the humanitarian way of looking
Right.
support that we provide, uh, that Aotearoa New Zealand provides, unlike other countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So with that, I want to move to this question, which is the mental health. If I ask you maybe straight away question about what is mental health, how you define it in your way, in your culture understanding.
Cool. Yeah, that's another great question. So mental health. I mean, I'm not an expert in mental health, but what I perceive and what I see mental health as is any other health condition. Physically, we see people, some people getting physically hurt. We can see that that person a particular injury. But for the mental health, it's difficult to see from the exterior sort of the eyes. So I think that's really a I would say big topic, and very challenging that's happening in the community. Yeah.
Right. So in that topic of mental health, so now if I talk about two environments, the home environment and outside environments, what language do you speak in home?
Oh, I speak Nepali.
Right.
I speak Nepali at home, but also sometimes I speak Hindi. My house has got. I mean, in a household we have a multicultural family dynamics. So yeah, few other languages I always speak. Yeah.
Great. So between that multicultural family home environment, and when you go out, that you speak mainly English with the society.
Yeah.
How you navigate these two worlds?
Okay. So I mean that's. It's all about the processing. What's what's happening? Yeah. What's happening? Translating, and also there's a cultural side of culture as well. Also plays that big role. So my family culture, and how I take that to outside my family. So yeah, it's sometimes it gets really bit challenging. But as I said, it's 17, 18 years of experience living in New Zealand. That has sometimes it goes like this. Sometimes it takes time to adjust in the society. Yeah.
Right. Right. So, in your experience, you've been quite time here. Have you faced any challenges or any stress about identity and belonging? Any situation, let's call them racism or bullying. Did anyone ask you any question about identity, that where you come from, something here?
No, to be honest, I haven't had a sort of confronted. I haven't got that confrontational situation
Right.
I have faced about the identity and belongings. But I have worked with few of my fellow mates and also clients. I've heard a lot from them about being harassed, being bullied, discriminated. Yeah, so I have come across that a lot.
Right.
Yeah, but also that sometimes that impacts my mental health as well, coming from experiencing that intergenerational trauma,
Yeah.
and sometimes yeah, it becomes very difficult to cope up with.
That's right.
But again, coming from that resilient background, that that goes off
Yeah. Yeah.
easily.
So, I can relate this into like when you hear stories,
Yeah.
like you want to try to support someone here, so you
Mm.
feel like inside too much pain, too much sadness, but because when we also like in you, when you try just to understand the system, which is kind of we struggle how to support it because
Yeah.
you want to, but it's kind of it's sometimes you have a limits until how much you can support this. So when you have working in such a sector thing, so how you balance your mental health when you, let's say, hear or work with someone who is going through a lot of deep issues that need support and help, and you mentioned it, you can think about things. So how you balance that when you turn back into home? How you manage your mental health in such a situation?
So as a social worker, I mean, that's how we were trained, and also that's how I practice in everyday personal balancing between personal and professional life.
Right.
So I always put a boundary. So there's a working time from 9 to 5. That's work. After 5, that's completely out of my work laptop. I put my work laptop phone away. So yeah, there's a little bit of a element of balancing between personal and professional. So sometimes it gets a bit tricky, but if that comes along, I normally do my self-care tips and techniques, going for a walk, things like that, going for a gym, listening to music, listening to podcasts like this one, what we are here today, yeah.
Right. Right, that's good element. So in this one, before I move into the second theme that we can a little bit talk more, what will be your message here if someone who's listening and watching to this podcast, especially about around this topic about identity and belonging, what message you want to send them?
Well, I mean, yes, the message that I think I would like to pass on to the viewers and listeners as about, yeah, it's all about, the world is all about yourself. Think about, prioritize yourself first, and maintain your self-care, and also don't forget your identity, where you come from. Don't forget your roots. That's what you lead a long way. So yeah.
Right, beautiful message.
Thank you.
I think that make a nice way to jump into the second theme, which is about silence and the shame and cultural stigma around mental health. Maybe this came more into your working and dealing with many stories that you hear, which share a lot of stigma. So do you think people from refugee migrants, what is their biggest stigma or common things that we face when we come here?
Yeah, I mean, as a personal experience, that when I first came, it was always big culture shock for me, and I believe it is the same for everyone. Culture shock, and also I would say the language differences, and how how people perceive each other's opinion. That's another big factor that the people would believe they would think, um, and also the socio-environmental, the differences that 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 they kind of come across in everyday life, and also the services um, that are not that are available, but not aware of where to reach out.
Right.
So
right.
Did I answer it correctly?
It is. I mean,
Yeah.
you are giving an
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
answer here,
Mm.
which is, and I think, do you think that we do play a role, like as a community leaders, people, to answer those kind of stigma, or to try tell the society about those stigmas that has been put on us while not reflect the experience of migrant, if it's clear the question. What I mean here, like, the stigma we face, like, for example, one of them, it's former refugees.
Mm.
They're all on benefits. They're
Mm.
all like trauma faced. That kind of things has been told the society.
Mm.
They only think when someone here, you're from refugee background, that's what they come to their mind. That's problem, because they don't think about how many language we speak. They
Yeah.
don't think about the strength we bring to the
Strength,
table.
yeah.
They don't think the other side of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
So see, this is what also I think sometimes make a problems to our
Yeah.
way to develop, to
Right.
resettle, to integrate with the society, so
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can develop. So that's where I've been asking about those kind of, if there's any stories around there, and what will be, from your experience and even cultural background, because you're expert in your culture, what is could be something you would advise the service provider, that when they hear about someone is coming from former refugees, do not judge them, do not things. What kind of advice, if I can say, you would give them?
Yeah. So, as a former refugee, when I first came, when I first arrived, it used to called as a working income rather than Ministry of Social Development, which is named now after it's a few years back now. So I think not only working income, but also any other service providers. I think it's really good for everyone, not only service providers, for everyone to know that they've come. They are refugee background. They have a lot, a lot on their plate in terms of their the experience and what the challenges they have faced. They don't come. They didn't choose to come to New Zealand, but they didn't have any other choice, but to come here and then have a peaceful life. So I mean, it's really important for them to understand their journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they may not be able to express, but as you just said before about their strength, they come with lots of resilience and strength within them. So maybe it might take a few years, a few months for them to give back to the community. But as just like you and myself and few other refugee background who are contributing back to the community. So just a matter of time. Yeah, and also being passionate about, and also approaching them very gently, So because it's lots of traumatic experience they have come across.
Right. It's great message for everyone. Be kind.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, that's kindness.
So
Kindness is the only message
Right.
that's we need at this current time of.
Absolutely. So, and then when I want to move, I think maybe I have one or two questions for this one. It's about, you may hear a lot of people who came from refugee, they feel shame. When I say this, I hear some stories because of the label, because of some people, they don't like to call themselves former refugee. So I want to ask you about, have you faced any such a people who came tell you like that? If there is such a people, do you know the reasons, like they feel shame to not be called former refugees?
So, for refugees, I mean, we had discussed a lot about this in few years, meeting with some of the community members, community organizations meeting. So that's correct that some from refugees have that the feeling, the shame of sharing that you belong to the refugee background. That's even with not only with for the communities, but also with the organization and service providers. They sometimes intentionally and unintentionally they use this word. So I have personally come across calling them refugees. But when we are in this country, Aotearoa, New Zealand, we are no more refugee.
Yes.
We are a permanent resident, and also some of us are already a citizen.
Right.
So in that case, we are refugee because that's why we are here.
That's the background.
That's the background.
How
That's the
we-
background. So there's a same. There's a same. Some I have come across that, but I think but at the time, as I said just before, it's a matter of time, and then it goes slowly away. But especially with I find this with young generations,
That's right.
those who were born in the host country,
Yes.
because they don't know anything about the parents, where their parents were born, and then when they come here, they see themselves with other the youngsters, and then so and also I think it's a very sad to see how the social media portrays about the refugees. So they only portray about the hardship. They portray
That's
only
right.
about that. That is also putting lots of the stress on young people, especially. That's because I work with a lot of young people. So that brings them that refugees is the people, those who don't have shelter, no food. Of course, that is the true, but however, but if you see on the flip side of other side is they have lots of strength and resilience, just as I mentioned before.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. And that's a problem because it's first the title that we didn't choose.
Absolutely.
It's
Yes,
a situation that they call us.
absolutely.
Before
Yes.
And then
But
second.
But however, every World Refugee Day, that's June 20th, because in the past the number used to be very low, but however now slowly that message is going back to the community, saying that being refugee is not a curse.
Exactly.
It's just it's a boon, So so I could personally see that the celebration, World Refugee Celebration, every year the numbers are going up slowly. So which means that there's a good acceptance from the wider communities, not only refugee communities.
Exactly. Yes. More awareness, more acceptance, more welcome from the society.
Yes.
Like sexually, I think especially Aotearoa, New Zealand doing very well.
Absolutely.
In some degree, we do have our own issues, problem, but they are doing much better than some other countries.
Yeah. But there's no comparison here. But what I'm saying is also, Aotearoa is the only country who hosts refugees for 6 weeks in the Mangere. So other countries, they don't have that sort of the provision, and also they don't have that settings where they provide the orientation for 6 weeks, they do health checks and everything, but Aotearoa is the only country. Sorry.
Well, that's good. That's the thing. So there's a pros and cons.
Yes,
Like,
pros and cons,
some people
absolutely.
say-
Yes.
Because I heard some people say, why they're putting out detention centers?
Yes.
Like that, but I think it's just about 6 weeks kind of orientation.
Yes.
Teach them about
Correct.
things will work here.
Yeah.
But of course, we also know that will not work in some degree because
Yes, absolutely.
what do you remember in that 6 weeks? You just came in a country that
Yeah.
you're excited, you're at the same time warrior, both feelings,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
But it is, I think we do have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
good intention, maybe you can say,
Yeah.
from the both the
Mm.
government, the community who's
Mm.
been welcoming
Yeah.
to our different cultures,
Yeah.
different things in
Yeah.
society. So even this has been a great conversation. I could keep
Yeah,
going.
indeed. Yes, yes,
But
I'd love to do that.
I know people come, but we don't have much time.
Yeah, yeah, sure,
I
sure.
love them, but maybe next opportunity we can
Yes.
keep going different
Yeah.
topics. I want to check with you with the last questions, like what would be one change, or not the one change, what kind of change you think we need to happen to reduce this kind of stigma or encourage more people from diverse backgrounds, especially refugees, to be who they are and just to share their stories, and also for the society to not put us into those boxes. And maybe it's better to ask us instead of judging. So what's your message here? What kind of changes?
Yeah, I think it should be from the government level itself. I mean, like, the policy should go from the very, very top down. But also in that way, I mean, what I'm saying is also about hearing their stories. That's also would contribute to the mitigate all those factors of labeling refugees. And also, I mean, actively participation in the the refugee forums, things that will help them to participate, as I said before.
Yeah.
I mean, just be in the same page. I mean,
Yes.
it's a difficult question, but
I think
tried.
you answered it very well. Because
Thanks, yeah.
to reduce any stigma, then
Yes,
we need to
yeah.
participate. We need to have a seat
yeah,
at the table.
Yeah,
So that
Yeah.
lived experience people can tell
Mm.
them the other side of the story that they are missing.
yeah.
And I think this way we open conversations,
Mm.
because I also understand when people start, let's say, judging us on something, because maybe it's first time.
Yeah.
They never hear. They only see what they know from that TV,
Yes.
that kind of story, and always is just the 5 minutes, and
Mm.
that's how they make their mind. So I don't judge on these people, because that's what we all do. But if we have a conversation like this,
Yeah.
if we sit and have a coffee and chat, I think that will bring us much closer
Correct.
to
Yeah.
people, because we will talk about what we like, what we share similarities,
Yeah.
what is the difference.
Mm.
That what might really the experience well. Right?
Yeah. And also, other side is also we talk a lot about the Treaty of Waitangi.
Yes.
So I think that from that lens also, if we sort of look at into acknowledging who they are, and bring, as I just said before, participation, and that binds a lot. Treaty of Waitangi binds everyone together. That's only we say in the theoretical, but look at into the practical. Are we doing enough for that?
Right.
So that's also a big question.
It is a big question,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is a big question. We need to have another podcast
Yes.
on it, I think.
Yeah.
That's great. I think coming to the end of this podcast, thank you so much. Maybe if there's any other message you want to share, it's up to you. Mike, for you, we have 1 minute.
Thanks, Quadrin. Again, thanks for inviting me today in this podcast. I think the last message I think through this podcast, what I would like to give everyone, and also who is the listeners and the viewers, is also be kind to everyone, accept what you have within yourself as a person, and also don't forget your roots. That's the important thing. And thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I appreciate
Thanks.
your time and conversation.
Thank you.
And your wisdom to share with us
Thank you
today.
so much.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having me again.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, comments, please write down there, and see you next podcast. Ka kite.